Hey guys, welcome back to the Hunt Fish Travel Podcast. I am your hostess, Carrie Z. We're here with Jeremy Dersham. He's the owner and operator of Ridge and River Running Outfitters. I had to read that because that's a lot of R's in there. Here
Absolutely.
in Wisconsin. So I originally really wanted to talk to him about waterfowl because, as you guys know, I don't waterfowl hunt very often, only on occasion, but I'm very fascinated. But I probably won't get to go very much because, deer hunting. But we're also going to talk about turkey hunting today because it's February and turkey season is right around the corner here in Wisconsin, and he is an outfitter. So I am excited to talk to you, Jeremy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. The cool thing is the NWTF convention's coming up here soon, and that's kind of the unofficial kickoff to the spring. March 1st season start opening up, and then we're later in the year. But turkey season's on the brains of so many people I talk to right now. It's exciting time to get back active and think spring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially here in Wisconsin.
Do you go?
No. So I not to the state convention. I have a bunch of buddies that do. I'm sorry, not to the federal
The one down in
national,
Nashville.
exactly. Yeah, the national convention. I go to the state one.
Okay.
So I'm a member of the NWTF. With that being said, I do usually the state callmakers championship. It's the Midwest callmakers championship. I'm a judge on that, and then also for our state calling competitions. So I usually attend that, and we try to coordinate that right around the state time where our actual convention is going on. So I usually try to make that happen, and that's our official kickoff in the state of Wisconsin for, I think, spring. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's 20 below zero here in Wisconsin, and we're really waiting for the days to get warm.
I know. It seems like it's so far away, but it'll be here really quickly.
You blink,
especially since next month is the over-the-counter, the leftover tags.
Yes,
so
exactly.
That's cool for people like me who forgot the draw.
Yep. Absolutely. And we have a lot of, I hear you, and it's easy to do. I mean, it's right around Christmas time. December 10th is that kickoff. So many people forget about it due to obligations going on. And the great thing about Wisconsin is, depending on what zone where you call home, there's a lot of leftover tags available for that latter part of the season, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th.
Yeah.
So no worries. You're going to be able to go out and hunt them sometime.
Yeah, totally. So you, as an outfitter, what zones do you cover mostly?
One. So I specifically cover one. I've dibbled and dabbled in 3 a little bit, but one covers south central Wisconsin, going all the way to the western part of the state. So I'm based out of Sauk County, is where I call home. And then I'm also a commercial waterfowler on the Mississippi River. So we follow all the way up to like Prairie du Chien, south of La Crosse, going all the way down into like Grant County too. That covers most of one. So there's a lot of different ground you can cover, and honest to God, it's the driftless area. So it's a lot of the different venues within Wisconsin. We hunt a lot of the rolling hills and the Mississippi bluffs, the river bottoms. But then we're also hunting ag and big timber, some coniferous type stuff. So, and each bird has a different temperament depending on where they call home. But with that being said, it gives you a wide range of areas to go after birds on.
That's neat. Do you? Well, we'll get into tactics a little bit later, but so you as an outfitter, I've never really gone with an outfitter for turkey hunting because I just like to tramp around myself. And here in Wisconsin, it's not that it's easy to go turkey hunting because, let's be clear, Easterns they're hard to hunt, especially here, because there are a lot of different areas to hunt them. They're smart freaking birds.
I hear you.
They have skunked me many times.
It's valid. So you've got a bird with a brain the size of a pea, right? That literally drives you absolutely freaking insane. I mean, they'll outfox you. It's just their instinctual habits. You know what I'm saying? One of the big things that we've come across in Wisconsin, we've got a great turkey population. I don't like advertising that. Comparable to like the southeast part of the country, even going into the Midwest, going down towards Missouri and other areas, they've seen a decline in their numbers. We've seen a decline too, but not to the degree that most of the other part of the country has seen. So with that being said, one of the big things that I've noticed over the course of the last 20 years was people going out after their Grand Slam, their Royal Slam, or their World Slam, right? So I get a lot of people that are wanting to accomplish that. The new one is the 49 people, and it's about once every 2 years. I have a new customer contacting me. He's chasing the 49. He's wanting to hunt turkeys in all 49 states, besides
neat.
Alaska. Yep. And so they pick anywhere from 5 to 6 states to hunt a year, and they're trying to make that happen, which is cool. I mean, it's like I said, different strokes for different folks, and the turkey hunting culture is extremely tight knit, but it's also a very unique viewpoint. They literally are traveling the United States, but they're just chasing turkeys while they're doing that. So it's neat to see.
That is cool. The 49, that would be fun. I feel like I don't have enough vacation time to get that done.
I hear that.
Or, I mean, I don't know. Especially since, well, I guess you could probably get it done if you went with an outfitter in each state, maybe. I don't know. I guess there's people who probably get it done DIY style, but it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. And it between outfitters and do-it-yourself guys, so the average statistics that I try to stay on top of is our success rate in the state of Wisconsin is about 25%. So that's only one out of 4 people. Yeah, which is very good.
Yeah,
comparable to other parts of the country. You know what I'm saying? So 1 out of 4, and it depends. It can fluctuate. Some years it's 27%, 30%, and some years it's 21, 22. But just take a general average of 25. So 1 out of 4 people are killing birds, throughout the course of a season. We're averaging about 85%, which isn't just because we're an outfitter there's no guarantees. I can't emphasize that, whether it's whitetails or fishing trips or whatever.
Well, yeah.
Waterfowl, turkeys. It's doing your best to put you on birds, if that makes sense. And
well, sure, because birds still have to cooperate and people still have to be able to shoot.
Correct. Absolutely. Speaking of shooting, that's a huge change. The culture of that. So, for example, 25 years ago, I had 20% of my guys carrying 10 gauges, right? Or 12 gauge with 3.5 when they started coming out. Today, I have 1 out of 4 people carrying a frickin' 410 with TSS, so the mindset has changed regarding the turkey hunting culture too. And now I've got guys contacting me. They're wanting to kill their Grand Slam or their World Slam with a frickin' 410. Just different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just different.
Totally. Do you have a lot of people with bows and crossbows? Well, probably more crossbows nowadays, huh?
Correct. Yes. Man. And it's different. I've had good success with people that do that, and then I've also had people that have taken advantage of that system. So, the reality is, when you're starting to hunt with bows, you're going to lose birds, right? Unlike a deer, where you can trail that animal for a significant amount of time, those turkeys will take off the flight, and you're going to do a grid search trying to find them. So, personally, I've ran into situations where guys have shot 2 different birds, haven't told me about it. You know what I'm saying? And then we go out there and, well, where's my next one? We go out there a week later and find dead birds laying around. So there's a frustration part to that bow hunting piece. Not saying that all people are like that.
Sure.
I have a lot of close friends that are diehard bow hunters. It's just being mindful of that. So we have a hunting contract in place. When you pull that trigger, and if you cut feathers or cut blood, that's a pulled tag, right? So I'd love to say that I've got an endless supply of turkeys, and that's just not the case. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of work to put people on birds, and from my point of view, it takes 18 months to 24 months to replace that bird. We hunt private, we hunt public. Honest to God, even on public lands, we'll go out there and put a quota on ourselves. We'll only take 2 or 3 birds off certain areas, and someone else goes out there and kills a bird. Great. That's all. I'll be the first one to congratulate them, but myself or my team personally won't do that. So it's the ethics and moralities that come with the hunting situation. And I love bow hunting. I love bow hunters. It's just, once you get burned so many times, it can be a frustrating feat. If that makes sense.
And are you lumping crossbows in with?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's a change. And the purity, I have so many people, I could go on a 3-day tangent regarding this conversation.
Me too. I know.
You know what I'm saying?
I have high angry thoughts sometimes. Mm-hmm. I'm always I don't know. Sometimes I like crossbows. Sometimes I freaking hate them. You
I
know
hear
what I
you.
mean? Like,
I
I
do.
love the fact that it gets more people out in the woods. I
Me
hate the
too.
fact that people are using it because they're fucking lazy, and that's the truth of it.
I hear that.
It really is, and they're just using it as the easy way to do things. I don't care either way. I
Neither
don't
do I.
use crossbows. Like I don't.
I'm
But
with you. From my point of view, the outdoor industry is 4% of
right,
the American public. So I don't want to fight
right,
amongst ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And
exactly. I
that's
don't
the
care.
last thing.
Right.
Exactly. With that being said, I see so many people go out and argue about this concept. If you're not using a
Right.
traditional bow, you're not a bow hunter.
Well, that's
You know what I'm
exactly
saying?
it. Because how many people attack me for using compound bows instead
Correct.
of, give me a freaking break.
Absolutely. I'm
There's
with you.
always going to be an elitist in every group. Yeah, I know. I get kind of up in arms when I see the 20-year-old use. I guess I don't get up in arms when I see the 20-year-old using a crossbow, and I'm like, have you ever even tried a compound bow? Well, of course not. I want. Oh my god. Like, okay, whatever. Use what you want. It's legal, and I don't really care that much.
Correct. I hear you.
Just gets annoying. But
living our best life.
exactly. But sometimes I feel like those are the same kids who are taking pot shots because they're not practicing the way they should be, because they're treating it like a gun, and they're too young to have the ethics instilled in them that a 30 or 40 or 50-year-old would, who has been practicing,
Forever. That's correct.
with traditional or compound, whatever it is, archery, like they should be.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also those archers who pick up their bow 3 weeks before
season
opening weekend, and then they take it to the shop and they're like, I need a tune-up, and then they go out and
stick
so
for deer. I hear that.
There's jerks and everything, but yeah, I was wondering if it was crossbows and regular bows. Yeah.
And that's one of the things I love about the outdoor community, and just hunters in general, is you self-police yourself, right? So ethics and morality, that's a huge piece of what we do. So where I'm going with this is, don't be that guy going out there 3 weeks before season and start shooting your bow or getting into your tech shop to get new cams or strings put on it and go out and stick 4 different animals. I don't care if it's turkeys, deer, whatever the case may be. You owe it to both the animal and to yourself, more so, and to the hunting culture, to be proficient with whatever weapon you're choosing to utilize, and put that morality and ethics on it. If you go out and stick a deer, man, and you can't find it, I hear that, but use your tag. You know what I'm saying? Go out and say, I did it. I screwed up. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. It happens in the outdoors, but just don't put those ethics and moralities on yourself, and it's going to change the way hunters are looked at, if that makes sense.
Right. I agree. I do agree. Do you have a lot of people who say, I made a bad shot, I think I did kill this bird, and now I can't find it. Here's my money. I'm going home empty-handed.
Yes. That's happened numerous times. That is.
Well, that makes me really happy, actually.
That makes me super happy.
Yeah.
Versus the guy that goes out and says he didn't see anything and nothing worked out. We're moving them around, and like I said, then I'm out there the next following week, do a grid search and find 2 dead birds.
Right.
That's happened too.
Ooh,
you know what I'm saying?
So mad.
It is. It's frustrating. And so don't call me, I'll call you when it comes to situations like that. So my point being is, everybody makes mistakes. I make more mistakes in a day than most people do in a lifetime. It's just the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, own it and move forward. And so I have much more respect for the guy or the gal, whoever it is, or the kid that comes up and says, I made a shitty shot. It is what it is. And forward movement,
Yep, for sure. How many people from out of state do you get in a season?
90%.
Like, do you get a lot of people from out of, what's that?
90%.
Really? That's interesting.
For both my waterfowl and my turkey hunts, 90% are out of state. Most of my people my turkey hunters I'm one of 3 to 5 stops that they're making, but that's their thing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They'll do their deer hunt or whatever, their small game hunting or their thing in the fall, but turkey hunting is their passion, right? So they're hunting anywhere from 3 to 5 states in a given year, and this is what they do. This is what they're known for, and so this is their culture.
So cool. Where do you think is the farthest away that you've ever guided? Like, what country?
What country?
Yeah. Like, so how far away?
I've had people from New Zealand contact me. I've had people from Western Europe that have come over. It's different.
That's neat.
It is. It's different. With that being said, the bulk of my people that come up and hunt with me are probably from the east side of the country. Pennsylvania, Ohio, New York, Jersey. I have a crew that does both waterfowl hunts with me and turkey hunts with me out of Maryland. So it's kind of wrap around. So I have a lot of people that do that. I'm one of, like I said, 3 or 5 states that they hunt on a religious basis, and things change. So a lot of these guys are also in draw hunts too. So they only have so much vacation time as you and I do, right? So with that being said, if they draw bull elk tag in New Mexico, they're going to drop off me from a given year and go do that thing. And how I personally do everything is we've got a waiting list. We're 2 years out on both our waterfowl and our turkey hunts. I know. So when people contact me, I do everything in my power to contact you back in a timely fashion. Things always happen, you know what I'm saying? But typically we're small enough. I'm not guiding 360 days a year. I've got friends, colleagues that are traveling the world, right? And they're in the field 360 days a year. They're guiding waterfowl for 9 freaking months. I mean, I've got colleagues that do that. So I've got a small family. I've got this. I want to be home. So I'm only in the field about 90 days a year, which is still a lot, you know what I'm saying? But
that's a lot.
I'm not the guy out there that's traveling to 4 different countries a year and guiding. So it is what it is.
That's so interesting. I wonder, so it always fascinates me when I look every year, because I do look every year, at how many different countries are represented every year for deer hunting for non-resident license sold. And I'd be curious to see what that is, either for waterfowl or for turkey licenses. Might have to look at that just because I'm nosy. And I like statistics. So
absolutely.
That'd be an interesting statistic, because Wisconsin we're so blessed and so rich with natural resources. It's bananas.
That's
and
correct.
I just think that's really interesting that people come from that far to come to Wisconsin. It's interesting that people come from the eastern states, Pennsylvania and New Jersey, like you said, or New York or Virginia or whatever it is, because they have eastern. It's not like we have a different species here. Like I would never go to Iowa to go eastern hunting. I would never pay an outfitter to go eastern hunting in another state and pay a non-resident license tag to hunt eastern, mostly because I'm spoiled here in Wisconsin, but
it's valid.
Because it's a species that I can hunt here. Why, you know what I mean? Like I would only do that for a Rio or a Miriam or whatever. But so it would be interesting. What kind of reasons do they give you for, say, coming from Kentucky, say, and they have a decent population down there, to come to Wisconsin, say?
The changes that have occurred. So it's like you just got done stating, we are blessed in the state of Wisconsin. We have 72 counties, I think, and 71 out of the 72 counties we have Boone and Crockett deer killed out of, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't exist many places.
Well, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? We have, if you go that, we have 70 to 75% of the continental canvasback population that comes through me, Wisconsin. And that's another quest of the 41 or 42, depending on what guru you talk for waterfowl. So people don't have that existence. We have a turkey population in the state of Wisconsin that now, if you're in Nashville, Wisconsin's going to come up numerous times, right? Because our turkey population is tenfold comparable to what they're seeing in the Carolinas or in Alabama or in New York or in different venues, going specifically southeast or eastern part of the country. So with that being said, it was kind of like us 30 years ago when you'd go out there and you would hear a turkey gobble and it was a successful hunt. Some states, you could go out there and hunt for 3 to 5 days and not hear a freaking gobble. I've heard that time and time again. They have huntable turkey populations. It's just it isn't what it once was. So you have the baby boomers or Generation X that had experienced that type of thought process, right? Or those type of hunts and aren't experiencing anymore. They want to go somewhere where they can get, have an 85% chance to kill a bird. If that makes sense.
I guess that makes sense. That does make sense. I mean, it's no fun. I've been to the Black Hills alone for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
5 times and been skunked every time. I mean, I feel like either I'm a week early or I'm a week late or whatever, and I'm in the middle of a snowstorm or whatever. It's the worst. It's the worst when you're really killing yourself out there and you're not even hearing anything and you're exhausted and you're cold and you're hungry and you're like, this sucks. And you know, and then, yeah, that does make sense. I guess I never really thought of it that way, but
it's different.
Yeah.
And the turkey hunting population is, again, similar to the waterfowl population or the African hunting population. It's tiny, right?
Yeah.
We're growing, but we're not growing astronomically. The stats regarding our numbers it is what it is. So my point being is, if we got a lot of baby boomers that are in that retirement age, they don't want to go out and fight crowds. They don't want to go out and do this. They want to enjoy life. You know what I'm saying? They've got a couple of days that they're going to hunt this year, and they want to just go out and not having to think. And I'll be honest, I'm showing my age. I've done do-it-yourself hunts since the time I could walk, and I'm and I guide a lot on public grounds, right? With that being said, I'm at the age now where if I'm going on a hunt, I do it yourself stuff. I have no issues hiring an outfitter anymore, just for the simple fact that I don't want to. I know what it entails. I know I'm going to spend half my time scouting. You know what I'm saying? If I got a 5-day hunt, I'm going to spend 2.5 to 3 days scouting
at least,
and 2 days of hunting. You know what I'm saying?
For the 11th hour shot. Yeah.
Correct. And that's okay. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just at the point in life where I work hard. You know what I'm saying? And I want to enjoy my free time. I want to take the extra 2 days and hunt or have a cigar, have a scotch, whatever the case may be, and enjoy life a little bit. If that makes sense.
I 100% understand. Like, I'm at that point with the Black Hills. I'm like, so I could just write that check at this point and go for my 2-day hunt and kill this fucking bird, because I am so tired of spending that much money anyway, all cumulatively in the last 4 years. And I probably could have the fan on my wall by now and not. Yeah, I know. And I do enjoy the process.
So do I.
There is a point where I don't enjoy the 5 weeks of process for nothing.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, like, I know what you're saying. Like, I love the DIY style, but there is a point where you're like, so I don't live for the DIY style. I don't live for it. There are people who breathe, eat, and that's all they do, and that's good for you. I run 2 podcasts, have a full-time job, a family, and like,
I do know, and that's exactly my point, Carrie. That's exactly. I am up at 2:30, 3 o'clock, and I am someone's vacation. 5 weeks, 5-6 weeks for my turkey hunts out of the year. You know what I'm saying? That's what I am. And so, with that being said, I want a vacation.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I have no issues paying. Like I said, the outdoor industry is very small, so talking with people, what outfits a fly-by-night stop, and who are reputable people, and we have a lot of reputable people in this country that are doing what I do, doing what you do, and I have no issues. I want to contribute to the outdoor community, and so paying a few people, you know what I'm saying, and the right people, I'm all for. I'm all
100%. I do agree with that. Yeah, totally. I love those people who, man, there are people, I watch them and I envy them with their, like, they eat, breathe, sleep turkey hunting or deer hunting, and I wish I could, but man, I love my 20 hours a week of video games, and I love I can't help it. I just can't do it.
I do. And it's like, I love it. So I'll be honest. So depending on what guru you talk to, right? There's 4 to 7 different stages of the turkey's breeding cycle, right? So when I'm hunting my turkeys in mid-April, right? That animal does not exist the last part of May. It's a whole different animal. So you hunt them differently, right? You know what I'm saying? So the bird is in a different mindset. They go 9 months of the year being bachelors, the toms do, right? They hang with each other, they love each other, they know all their different mannerisms, and then they go 3 months out of the freaking year being badasses and hating each other, fighting to the death. I've watched turkeys literally fall off cliffs fighting each other, but then 3 months later they're right back together and hanging out. So my point being is, watching those different cycles. And if I don't know what's going on in those different cycles, kind of like the fall flight, I don't feel whole. I don't feel like I'm Jeremy Dersham. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I need to know what's going on when it comes to that kind of thing. And it's a illness. My wife calls it an illness. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Point being is I eat and breathe turkeys. I love turkeys. I eat and breathe waterfowl. Love them.
Love that.
I just love the outdoors, period. If that makes sense.
But that's what makes you such a good outfitter and such a good guide. Somebody like me would be terrible. I would be terrible at guiding because I don't want to spend that much time. I just don't. I love turkey hunting. I like turkey hunting by myself. Mm-hmm. You know, I do. I like the process of it and I like figuring it out. I like the critical thinking aspect of it and the triaging part of it. I'm obviously I figure stuff out for a living, but
absolutely.
I would be a terrible guide. There are people who are just wired that way and they're really good at it. And so if somebody calls you up and they're like, all right, I live in Montana and I want to come to Wisconsin to go turkey hunting. Do you talk to them and feel them out to say, well, you would probably be better coming the first week of May or the third week of May? Or what is that kind of a process? Or is it just whenever I can fit you in is when you should come, I'm going to put you on birds?
So again, all about long-term averages, right? I don't guarantee anything. Period. Right. You want to guarantee, contact somebody else. I'm not that guy. I average yearly 80 to 85% success rate. Each week, I have certain percentages that I average. With that being said, typically my out-of-state people, you can't get a tag until third season, right? So the first, Wisconsin's unique. From my point of view, we've done it right regarding how we've set up our turkey population, our turkey hunters. We don't overcrowd the woods like some states do. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not downplaying. I like how we've set our system up. I
do too.
So the first two seasons, usually season 1 or season 2, it's A and B, are typically all in-state people, right? So then season 3 comes around, and that's usually when the non-residents start gathering all their tags, especially if you applied by December 10th. So what I do though is I've got about a 75% repeat business on a yearly basis. So if you book with me, you're allotted that very next week the following year. And over the course of the last 20 years, or I don't know, however long it's been, most of my guys book the following year. Again, things change. They buy a house, they get married, they have kids, whatever the case may be. So those situations open up. Typically, they're booking with me the day after they leave, if that makes sense, or the day they leave. Sure. They're booking that following year with me and making that happen. And then if I got a new guy coming in or a new crew coming in from, say, like you said, Montana, there again, if that guy didn't book with me, I give them a certain amount of time, but then I put you on a waiting list. And then that waiting list will come up. And as soon as that availability opens up is when you're going to be able to get put in that spot, if that makes sense.
Okay. So, and just for the listeners, I'm looking at, and I'll cut this in actually into the video, the leftover harvest authorizations right now. So for example, for zone 1, I'm guessing that if somebody were to magically get time period C, which 2,000 tags aren't a lot. People think that's a lot of tags left over. It'll be gone in 8 minutes.
10 minutes. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes.
So
you'll be correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
D, E, and F, those will stay availability through the week, but
right. That's exactly right. So E and F specifically. C is typically my guys that are repeat guys that already have their tags. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, D, E, and F, and D usually even that first week they start selling out pretty quick.
Yeah.
So prime example, the guys that are hunting with me this year already have their tag for season C. Already have their tag for season D and E and F for that matter. This year everybody came back. With that being said, E and F historically are you can pick them up the day of. So I've had guys that buy 2 tags, you know what I'm saying? And Wisconsin, you're allotted 1 tag per day. You can buy 1 tag per day. And so guys are always looking to kill a few birds. Some guys just want 1. Some guys, I've got a family crew that comes in and hunts with me. Most years it's a father-son and then a father-daughter. So they've got 2 tags a piece, and they're wanting to kill their 4 birds. Some years they do, some years they don't. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yes, again, personally, I like the way our system's set up.
Yeah.
Like you just got done saying that you call in to go wild, you're put on a waiting list, and if you hit that first, if your number is called in the first 8 minutes, but the first 8 to 10 minutes, those 2,000 tags are gone. Yeah. And it is what it is.
Yeah. So anything in that C period
goes fast.
Yeah.
It's valid.
Yeah. I think last year there was more than 2,000 tags available. But
I think that's right.
It seems like there's a little less this year, but even 30,000 over-the-counter tags for Zone 1, though, in May it's a lot of tags.
Yes, it is.
We have a pretty healthy flock.
Population. We do. Yeah. We do. So, speaking of that, have you noticed any changes? Like, so I'm dating myself. So I started turkey hunting in the early 90s, right? When going out and hearing a turkey or seeing a track was a big deal. That was a huge freaking deal. Yes. And then, the turkey population just kind of skyrocketed. Yeah. We peaked over by us between 2010 and 2012. Yeah. I could be on a setup and have 7. I think the most birds I ever had at one time were 8 or 10 birds coming in within a 45-minute period. Numbers have decreased greatly since that time. We still have a very healthy population, but we kind of peaked at in 2010, 2012, and we're good, but we're not at the numbers we were 10, 12 years ago. You guys seeing the same thing?
Agree. Yep, I definitely agree. Even Zone 2 and Zone 1. So I really started hunting out in the Rosh Holt in Zone 3.
Okay.
I think it's Zone 3. Yeah. And then I do hunt out in the Sauk on the state natural areas for quite a bit. And then out by Gobble.
Mm-hmm.
And out.
Student taught down there.
Yeah.
That area. Yep. Muscadet, Gobble.
Great, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and the Spring Green area, I have private land that we. So I've killed more turkeys in the Spring Green area than any other area. And the last 3 years, I have been skunked.
I hear that.
On private, which is odd. Earlier. And it's like zone, and it's time period C. So, I mean, it's early, but they're just not, I don't know. They're just laughing at me these days. And like, I don't know if they're just teaching each other like tribal knowledge down the line or what the deal is, They're just harder to hunt, I feel like, these days. And I don't see less turkeys. They're just more cautious.
Yeah, more hand up toms.
So yeah, and it doesn't matter what time period it seems that I'm out there, especially in the Spring Green area. And I don't know if it's just more people in the woods or I don't know, they're just getting smarter. I swear.
Hateful birds, I call them. By the end of the season, I hate turkeys. Just like by the end of the duck season, I hate ducks. You know what I'm saying? I go into it, I want to know everything about them, and they exhaust me in 6 weeks, and I'm ready for them to be shelved.
And it doesn't matter A, B, C, D, E, and F. Because I'm a tag hoarder. I freely admit I have a problem. I don't care that I spend $70 in May and eat tag soup. It's fine. I do it every year, and I gotta have a spread of zones because you never know where I'm gonna find myself in May.
Valid. That's valid. I do.
You do. I mean, you just really never know, and they're like $10 a piece, so who cares? So, but I mean, almost always end up in Zone 1. So, but
are you seeing more hand up toms, or let me rephrase that? Are you seeing less toms during the last 5-6 years down towards the Spring Green area?
Yes, way more hens. Way more hens. Just tons more. And I don't know why. You'll see a flock you'll see like 2 or 3 toms, and there will be like 25 hens. Literally, where it used to be way more toms. So I don't know.
I hear that. I
hear
that.
I wish I had a biology degree where I could be like, well, genetically speaking, this is happening, and I don't know.
Honest to God, when we're traveling throughout the areas, we see this very similar situation. So, like last year, we'll see pockets of 8 or 10 different jakes. You know what I'm saying? We could go another mile and not see another jake for 5 days. So it's truly pockets of birds, for lack of a better term, where you'll go in and see a great hatch one year regarding Jakes and soon to be Toms, and the next parcel you're going down, it's 80% Jennies that you're gonna.
Right.
It's just different. It's different. So what I'm saying is, I've heard that, and I've seen that personally a lot, especially in the Sauk, Columbia, Richland County areas, where you could go in a pocket there and zone 1 season C, so that's that third season, and have every Tom henned up. You know what I'm saying? You have to travel 20 miles and finally get on a pocket of more Toms, if that makes sense. So and honestly, what I'm doing a lot of years is I'm taking inventory of I saw those 8 Jakes, this area. I know, there's a great probability I'm going to have 6 to 8 of those that transferred over. They're going to be 2-year-olds this year. 2-year-olds make me look great. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They make me look like I know what the hell I'm doing. A lot of days that's just not the
dumb,
case.
And they're beautiful. They're they're not all beat up, and
Absolutely.
Like their feathers are perfect. Yeah.
Yep. And they like coming into the call very quickly.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So what we're seeing in those types of situations is the typical what we saw 10, 15 years ago. So we have 1 to 2 Toms, the dominant birds, that are with the hens for the bulk of the, and then you've got your satellite Toms running around them that are willing to work the call and make us look good pretty easy. Yeah. That makes sense.
Totally. I know. Yeah, I don't know. I also have noticed a lot more coyotes and a lot more predators.
Bobcats. Yes.
So and I don't know if like the girly turkeys are just smarter than the boy turkeys or what. But like honestly, I don't know. Well, and I don't know if it's just that the boys tend to be by themselves more often or something. I don't know. I do see a lot more coyotes while I'm out hunting in the last, especially 10 years.
Yes, that's a real statement. The predators, and even raccoons, skunks,
and possums. My trail cameras.
That's correct.
They're crazy.
It's valid. We're seeing the same thing all over. So even here in Sauk County, 10 years ago, you'd catch a bear in the spring, right? That would come running through, usually juvie male that comes running through. We've got them here permanently now. We're catching them on trail cams all year long. We're catching bobcats all year long. We're catching skunks, and no one. And this is going back to my waterfowl days. 20 years ago, I was out there breaking ice with the trappers, right? And they would be going out there. I would see them daily. Today, they don't exist like they did. For every one day, I see them 1 out of 5 days versus every day.
Yeah.
People are trapping less.
That predation is just the same thing. Yeah. And I don't know if it's just a culture shift or like I don't trap mostly. I hear you. Yeah, that too. It's expensive to do it. Well, and it's not as lucrative as it used to be, and people don't wear fur coats like they used to, and everything. And and people are big babies now, and I don't know. Everybody's afraid to post anything on the internet. Well, and okay, in all fairness, sometimes I hide a lot of the posts that I see. People will post pictures of these animals, and they're caught in the traps and stuff. And I'm like, just kill the freaking thing. I don't really need to see it suffering, so you can take your freaking picture. Just kill it. You know what I mean? Like, and that doesn't help anything.
Correct. I want to be very clear. And that goes back to the ethics, morality.
Yeah.
We think, you know what I'm saying? And I can't have, we want to expand. I want my kids to have the opportunity to do what I want to do. My little girl's 10 years old, wants to be a guide. We peaked out from a hunting point of view in 82, 85.
Right.
And our numbers have slowly decreased. Every year we lose baby boomers, we lose hunting sales. You know what I'm saying? So my point being is you are our face, and social media has made it very easy to show our face throughout the world. You know what I'm saying? So be mindful of how we go about portraying ourselves, if that makes sense.
Right, exactly. I like trapping. I like my fur coats.
I love
and I like, you know what I mean? I have my, I love seeing the pelts. I just don't need to see it suffering and stuff.
I hear you.
So you can get
your
Instagram likes.
Correct. I hear you.
I do wish that people would get more into trapping. And I don't know, I know this is totally so far off topic of what we were talking about, but I really do believe that we here in Wisconsin, we've had such a shitty couple of years, and it's been wet and crappy and rainy, and we've got the stinky poults and the stinky hens, and that does not help. And we don't have enough trapping to combat, like you said, the raccoons and the possums and the mink and fishers and everything, you know, are going in there and they're just decimating these poor little guys. And
it's real.
I don't know what the answer to that is. I mean, because these kids they're more interested in being YouTubers and playing their video games than they are going out and setting traps for raccoons. But
that's hits the nail. That's where Turkeys for Tomorrow, NWTF, they're all doing studies on what the heck's going on across the country regarding our turkey populations.
Yeah.
We're seeing declines, right? So why is that? And it's not one thing. It for sure part of its habitat, but another huge piece of that is the amount of predators out today. We did not have. Like I said, 20 years ago, I would constantly run into trappers out doing their thing.
Totally.
And it was just a way of life. Pelts were going for a good price. I've got friends that are still coyote hunters, you know, and trapping, but they've got 4 different giant chest freezers, saving it for waiting just for a price to go up and then sell them all. You know what I'm saying? So they're sitting on that for years. And the reality is today trapping is more of a hobby than it is a lifestyle. So the trappers that I know that are doing it full time are also nuisance specialists, you know, so or animal control specialists. They're using it as a supplement versus having it as a full time. There's just no money in it anymore. Yeah. So until we get back to that or find other alternatives, it's here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's an interesting conundrum.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. Absolutely agreed.
Boy, did we go down the rabbit hole.
Living our best life, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's all related to turkeys, but yes, I hear you.
It is. It all comes full circle. Well, Jeremy, why don't you tell the listeners where they can find out more about you and more about your guide and outfitting service and your social media links so that they can keep up with what you got going on?
Absolutely. So our home address for our webpage is rrroutfitters.com. Like I said, we've got anywhere from 1.5 to 24-month waiting period. But by all means, feel free to contact me. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and we'll get you on a waiting list and see if we can get a Wisconsin bird under your belt. That goes for waterfowl and or turkeys. Social media is Ridge and River Running Outfitters. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram. We don't do much with YouTube at the present moment, but yes, absolutely. I love talking outdoors in different capacities, and it's truly our way of life.
I know. This has been a great conversation, and I would love to have you back on later this summer to talk about waterfowl. Absolutely. I could have you on for like 3 episodes because I have lots of questions.
Living the dream, Carrie. We're living the dream.
Know. Like I said, because I just don't do a lot of waterfowl, but I am interested I'm interested in anything hunting, of course. I just have questions because I don't do it, and I just have questions.
It's another absolutely, again, I live for those birds. If I don't know what's going on in the migration, I'm not a healthy person. Yeah. With that being said, they're hateful. They're a hateful frickin' animal.
Well, I thank you very much for taking the time to come on the show. For the listeners, I will, of course, link to everything in the show notes. You will be able to find it at huntfishtravel.com/EP243 as soon as I publish this. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Have a great day.